Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So today is kind of a big day. It's the release of the 5.5.0 of Monster Strike. And then with it, we will get a lot of buffs to characters. And actually, I was a little bit shocked that about the timing of this update, because the JP version, it didn't get this update until February of this year. So we're going to get this, or we have this update, maybe about 6 months, 8 months before JP got it, in terms of where in the game they got it. So there's going to be a lot of events that we are going to be able to use these guys the first time around. Some impossibles, some missions higher than impossible, other limited time events. So yeah, we're going to get a big leg up here, and lots of characters that I'm very excited about. And then, yeah, I'm just going to talk about the Hatcher monsters. Not so much the drop monsters, but I will include one of them. That's a personal favorite of mine. And then one Hatcher monster that I don't have is Gilgamesh. So I'll just tell you that his Ascension form gets a stronger bump combo. Okay. Alright, moving on. So let's look at a Salamander here. And then, not a big change from before. The Evolution and the Ascension, they get their Fiend Slayer upgraded. So the Ascension here, from Fiend Slayer M to Fiend Slayer L. And this is pretty great, except that he has a direct competition with Columbia, who is kind of the best Fiend Slayer in the game. And in most cases, Columbia is going to be better, because she is a dark type, so she can go to more types of quests. But for Poltergeist in particular, either version of Salamander is going to be very good for you. So yeah, if you're going after Poltergeist, I can recommend Salamander even more than before. Okay. Next up here is Verdandi, and she's kind of the focus for this buff. All of the other characters, they were sort of weaker characters that people weren't really using, which were made more usable by this buff. But Verdandi was excellent before, and now she is top class, for sure. Yeah, pretty high stats, pretty balanced stats, with a very good double null ability, null damage wall, null gravity barrier. But now she becomes a blast type, and she gains a new bump combo, the Rebound X Laser. Kind of Verdandi's main problem before was she wasn't a great damage source. She was very versatile and could go to a lot of missions because of her stats and her strike shot and her double null. But now with her new bump combo, she'll be able to do a lot of damage too. The way it works, we're all familiar with the regular rebound laser, which goes in one direction and then hits the wall and bounces off. But this Rebound X Laser, she shoots out her X Laser like normal, but each of the 4 will now rebound. And so basically you're filling the screen with this rebound laser. And then, yeah, it's easy to hit everybody on the screen with the laser. And then, yeah, especially in Ashura, where there are blocks and it's difficult to get to everybody, the laser can just go through the blocks and hit everybody, so that's very great. So yeah, she was already a good choice for Izanami and Ashura before, but now she is a top tier choice, so that's pretty exciting. Okay, next up is Chohakkai. This is the Ascension version, and then he gains a brand new ability, which is a null block. If you hit the gauge, he'll go through blocks, and actually you can miss the gauge and you'll, bounce off the blocks. So depending on your situation, you can pick which you want to do. And then, because he gained the gauge shot, they brought his attack down, but if you hit the gauge shot, then it'll be back to the way it was before. Yeah, null block, maybe not super useful at the moment, but could be useful in the future. Okay, here is the evolution version of Chohakkai, and he gains Mancer Slayer, which slightly increases his usability. There aren't a lot of Mancer bosses out there. And then he also gets his attack increased a little bit, so that's pretty good. Okay. Here is the one drop monster I wanted to show off. And yeah, I'm very excited about this, because I've always liked Medusa. But before she was kind of a gimmicky character. Maybe, I think when the designers designed her, they made her attack very low, because they were worried that her 8-turn tackle strike shot would be too powerful. It didn't turn out that way. So they increased her attack and her speed so that they're more kind of in line with other drop monsters. But yeah, very much looking forward to using her. Okay. Next up, this is one of the ones I'm most excited about. This is a Snowbow Ascension, and she gains Null Warp, which very much increases her usability. And then her bump combo here, it also got a bump in attack. So before it used to be about 2400, and it's almost doubled to 4000, which is pretty crazy. And then Snowbow, her main bump combo is the short spread. And she's the only one, I think, at the moment with the short spread as her main. Most everybody else has it as their sub-bump combo, where it does less damage. But yeah, it does more damage for Snowbow, and then does even more because she is it's on her main. So yeah, pretty exciting there. Alrighty. Then we'll look at the evolution of Snowbow next. And yeah, for a lot of people, this is another one of the big updates. For one reason only, she got more HP. When she was first released, her HP was very low, only about 15,000. Now it's 20,000, which is a big difference. And then, yeah, with her speed up and no gravity barrier, she's always been a good choice for Tsukuyomi. But the problem with Tsukuyomi is that your HP is very precious. And so having that low HP was a big demerit against Snowbow. But yeah, now with her HP up, she's one of the best choices for Tsukuyomi. And then a lot of people are making the comparison of her to Uriel Ascension, another Pierce no gravity barrier with speed up. And yeah, I agree that Snowbow is now the better choice than Uriel, because she has a better strike shot, which is to do extra damage through the weak point. Uriel's strike shot is not too usable in Tsukuyomi because it does eat up your hit points. And so yeah, with this buff of Snowbow, and then also the release of Tempest Ascension, Uriel Ascension's usability is kind of taken over by these two new characters. So if you do have Uriel, and you do have one or two of these other guys, you might think about doing the evolution instead. Oops, okay. Next up is Pavarti, and I think Green, the wood monsters overall, they got the best buffs from this update. This is Pavarti Ascension. She becomes a blast type, which makes her bump combo pretty insane. One of the best homing bump combos in the game now. And it's comparable to the upcoming Alice Ascension, who is also thought of as having one of the best bump combos in the game. Not quite as powerful as Alice, but very close. And then for the ability, Pavarti gains Null Block, which can be interesting. And yeah, she's one of the best Minesweepers in the game, because she has Minesweeper L, and because her base attack is so high. So yeah, should be pretty great. And then here, this is the evolution version. She also becomes a blast type, and so her bump combo becomes much stronger. And actually, it's the same bump combo as Ibaraki Doji, yeah, who is generally agreed to have one of the best bump combos. So yeah, Pavarti is pretty good now. Next up is Spica. The Ascension version here got an upgrade to her Demon Slayer, which is always welcome. But the big news is the Ascension here. Everything about her is the same, except her strike shot gains healing after the tackle. And yeah, she's already great, but to have that extra healing makes her even more crazy. So yeah, pretty excited about her. And then next up, this is Hitoshi, Ascension. And yeah, he becomes pretty crazy. The The homing, he gains more homing. Before had just 8, but now he's got 12. And then being a blast type and then having homing destruction makes him very, very strong. So yeah, pretty crazy there. And then next up here is Porthos, Ascension. He gains Recovery M. The regular recovery, it restores about 25, I think, 25% of your HP if you hit everybody. But with Recovery M, I think it restores like 33, 35% of your life. So yeah, he'll be pretty crazy for that. And then his evolution version, which I don't have, gains an upgrade to his Demon's Bane. So he becomes Demon's Bane L. So that's pretty great. And then finally on this device, this is another one that I'm super duper excited about. This is Thumbelina Ascension, Evolution. And she gains full resistance, and then her bump combo of defense up also gets an upgrade. And then full resistance, just like Izanagi, means that she takes a quarter of the damage from all elements. So that's pretty crazy. And then in addition to that, her bump combo, the effectiveness of that has gone up as well. And so if somebody else hits her, they get that shield of defense up. And that lasts for 1 round, or 3 turns from there. And on the first turn, that bonus is a 50% up defense. For the next 2 turns, it's a 25% defense. So yeah, she can protect herself, she can protect her teammates, which makes her very, very usable. Yeah, I'm more kind of a defensive player, so this buff is right up my alley. I love it. I used her a lot before, but I'm going to be using her more from now on. Okay, so that is the end of the characters on this device. So let's head over to my other device and then kind of fill in some gaps. Alrighty. So here, this is Monstriker Rose, the Ascension version. I don't have this version yet, but I will once I get a Queen Butterfly. Yeah, she has Flight and Null Warp. She lost her Gravity Barrier and got Null Warp, which means that she'll be great for other missions, including the next Wood Impossible mission. She'll be one of the best for that. And then she could go to Daikokuten with the Flight and Null Warp. I prefer bounce characters for that mission, but yeah, she could certainly go to that. And then next up is the evolution version of Monster Rose. She keeps her Flight and Null Gravity Barrier and gains Null Block, which could come in handy. And then she also gains more hit points, which is always useful. And then, yeah, her strike shot, oh, I'm sorry, strike shot stays the same. It's the Ascension whose strike shot changes. It turns into the, breaks the drones strike shot. So that's pretty great. And then, yeah, the evolution here didn't change too much from before, but she can be good for like Tsukiyomi or Izanami. Okay, and next up is the blue characters. This is Suzuran Ascension, and then he gains 2 all-new bump combos. He gets the White Blast, which has a greater, what do you call it, greater radius than your average blast bump combo, which also wakes up people. I just found this out this morning. If your guy is made to fall asleep, usually you need to hit the guy to wake him up, but the blast bump combo will also wake them up. And then he also gains Wave, which is also brand new. If you haven't tried Lucifer Ascension yet, try out Suzuran. It's a little difficult to use, but it's very powerful. And then next up is Suzuran Evolution, and he just gains fire resistance, which is awesome. He already has like super high hit points, So with the fire resistance, he'll be a great tank for you. Alright, next up, this is the evolution version of Medusa, and she just gets some status upgrades to her attack. She was already good before, so yeah, this is minor but welcome. And then finally, this is the evolution version of Hitoshi, and then he gains more homing shots, just like the Ascension. And then also gets a new strike shot, where he fires a turret at the wall, and then the turret opens up and then it shoots out bullets. And yeah, I tried it out this morning, and actually it's pretty strong. I got it on a wall that was pretty far away from the boss, and then there was no weak point, and there was no element advantage, and still it did about 600,000 damage. So yeah, with a weak point, and being close to the weak point, and maybe having element advantage, I can easily see it doing over 1 million damage, so very strong. But do not shoot the turret so that it hits an enemy, because it won't stick and it won't shoot out the bullets. So be aware of that. Okay, so I think that's everything. Yeah, I'm very excited about this update. We have a lot of new usable characters, and a lot of fun bump combos and strike shots in particular. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. I'll put up a few videos that showcase some of these characters soon. Alright, thanks for watching. We'll see you again. Take care.